Now, Republicans claim to be worried about election security. However, they continue to block election security bills that would safeguard our elections from being influenced by foreign actors. In fact, two bills were just recently blocked by Republicans. Now, this is ironic because it follows testimony from former special counsel Robert Mueller. Democrats had tried to get the consent to pass two bills, one that would require campaigns to alert the FBI and the FEC about foreign offers of assistance. So, for example, another country comes to you. Of course, mainly this comes from, it's Russia that might have came to Donald Trump, or did actually come to Donald Trump and said, hey, we would like to help you in your campaign against Hillary Clinton. But not only that, of course, you could have somebody who gets offers from Saudi Arabia or Israel or Denmark or Finland or the UK, Canada, whatever, right? Like Bernie Sanders, say, Canada comes to Bernie Sanders and says, hey, we'll help you out in your campaign. We'll give you information. If that happens, then, whoever is the president or candidate has to go to the FBI and say, hey, we got this foreign offer of assistance. Okay, look, I think that's fair, right? I think that's fine. Not only that, but there's also a bill to let the Senate Sergeant at Arms offer voluntary cyber assistance for personal devices and accounts of senators and staff. So now one of the ways that experts are saying that Russia possibly got a hold of DNC emails could be because of a spear phishing account. So, our spear phishing operation into Tony Podesta's personal email account. And that's how they got access. So, that would be a failing on the part of Tony Podesta to not secure his account. So, what this would do is it would let the sergeant at arms basically go in and say, here's your security vulnerability on your cell phone or your email account. We'll fix it if you want us to. If you want to go with someone else, if you want to go for a private solution, that's fine. But here's our solution, right? Okay, look, these perfectly are fine, right? They're not controversial. Again, if Saudi Arabia or Israel or offered, any other country offered campaign information, well, then we should know about it. The FBI should know about it, so they can look into it. But I don't want anybody influencing our elections. I would also love to extend that extend prohibitions for giant multinational corporations and large wealthy donors. They should also not be able to influence our elections, but that's just my little dream here. But anyway, look, this seems common sense. But apparently it was not common sense to certain Republicans. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, a Republican from Mississippi, decided to block each of these bills. And again, if this is a unanimous consent bill, all it takes is one person to say, no, I don't agree with that. Now, why would the Democrats ask for unanimous consent? Because this is a no-brainer. This is not partisan. This is not BS. This is just like, hey, we care about election security. We would like to know if somebody tries to influence you. So, this is simple. Very simple. Okay, good. But apparently, like I said, this Republican, Cindy Hyde-Smith, says nope. So now she must have a reason, right? Maybe it's government overreach. Maybe it's too broad. That was a Republican excuse the last time a round of election security bills was denied. And that was actually Marsha Blackburn who denied that I think it was either last month or last year, because there's been quite a few election security bills that have been shot down by this. Now, what was her reasoning? None. She didn't give any reason for her objections. Or she didn't even say if she was objecting on behalf of herself or the Senate GOP caucus. Now, if it was herself, that's fishy, right? But if it was for the GOP caucus, that's an even bigger problem. Because then here's Republicans saying, we don't care at all about election security. We will block this. We don't care. We don't care. Again, blocking two common sense bills in the Senate and not even giving an explanation, that's not fishy at all. I mean, that doesn't strike you as strange? I mean, why not safeguard elections? Why not allow the FBI and the FEC to know about foreign offers? Why not allow people to voluntarily secure their devices? Why not do paper ballots? That's the other question, right? That's what I'm very interested in. All that stuff would go to increasing election security. It's almost as if Republicans don't care about that. Unless, of course, it involves undocumented immigrants. And in reality, of course, they don't care about securing our elections against undocumented immigrants because look, undocumented immigrants do not vote in large numbers. I know it's a nice little scapegoat that when they lose specific elections, they go, that's the illegals, they're all voting. There's no way Americans would vote for Democrats. I don't know about that, man. But no, in reality, a lot of that, of course, is disenfranchising the vote. People of color, basically. But here's the thing, right? So what Mueller said, and this is going back to not only the report, but obviously yesterday, or not just yesterday, but the report. He said, look, and he's backed up by a lot of experts, there was some interference, and they're going to try it again. Now, look, it might not be memes and Facebook posts this time, right? And so that's what they're warning about. Like, hey, they tried to influence, and you can argue, of course, and I have argued that their influence didn't really have a huge effect. Well, what are you talking about, Jeff? Donald Trump won the election. Yeah, but people already had their minds made up about Hillary Clinton. She was a terrible candidate. Again, I have to go through this. But I think it's almost universally accepted by now that Hillary Clinton was a terrible candidate. She was the wrong candidate for 2016. And her campaign died a death of 1,000 cuts. One of them, possibly Russians, but just as equal as her not going to Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And also not having any decent policy. Not focusing on policy, or having a ton of baggage. Some of it made up, obviously, from Republicans, and some of it actually true. And also being incredibly unlikable. There's a million different reasons why she lost, and interference is just a small sliver of that. Sorry, corporate Democrats. Sorry, the establishment. But it wasn't all Russia. But yes, it did play a part, a small part. And we should, you know what? Congress should do their part to try to protect against that by passing this simple legislation, which apparently Republicans are like, no, can't do it at all. I mean, come on. No-brainer. It's almost as if Republicans are okay with this and say, you know what, no, it actually helped us. It went in our benefit. So the thinking goes, right, if this gives us any advantage, small or not, we're going to take it. As long as we win in the end, because that's all we care about. Ugh. Disastrous. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.